y'all, this one gonna get heated quick. Boosie just called out a whole lineup of rappers after that shocking Diddy verdict dropped, and trust me, it wasn't no random emotional rant. This man was dead serious, defending Diddy with his chest while exposing who he thinks been plotting on black moguls like him. He even said if Diddy was white, the streets would be rioting right now. But that ain't all. Boosie dragged a few silent rappers who stayed quiet the whole trial. Why didn't they speak up? Are they scared, or were they secretly hoping Diddy would fall? And just wait till you hear what Boosie said about Cassie, her man, and what really went down. Stick around, because I'm breaking it all down, just facts and fire. So soon as that verdict hit on July 2nd, when the feds let Diddy slide on the big charges like trafficking and racketeering, Boosie jumped online like he just won a championship. He said,
"Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro."
He was sick of seeing black folks crucify their own icons while white billionaires get silent passes. Y'all know Boosie don't sugarcoat.
He done all this for hip-hop. If he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, you know.
Then Boosie started low-key throwing shade at the industry. He didn't name names, but the message was loud.
Y'all thinking about one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who've been in my kids' position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child.
That was a whole shot at the silence from folks like Rick Ross, Meek Mill, maybe even Jay-Z, who didn't say a word through the whole 6-week trial. Some even thought he meant T.I., since Tip been oddly quiet too. Now on to Cassie. Boosie didn't hold back. He claimed Cassie and her man Alex Fine basically set Diddy up, saying she enjoyed those wild freak-offs and just flipped later for a payday.
Either she was traumatized, she was sick and hurt, or she loved every minute of it.
Or both.
You know, it's either or. No, it ain't both. It's either or. Then you say, when you try to leave, he come and get you and send people to get you. Some women love it.
Fans went off. Some said Boosie must be guilty of some to come and defend Diddy. Boosie must be high in this clip. Those are strange words coming from a guy that has 5 daughters. But Boosie doubled down, said this ain't about Diddy, it's about how quick the culture turns on its own.
Diddy, sit your down somewhere. That's what you need to do. Grab Stevie J in your chair and get the
He even name-dropped Stevie J, one of Diddy's last day ones, still showing public support.
I mean, he hasn't been
convicted.
He hasn't been convicted.
He has been charged.
All right. Yeah, he hasn't been convicted.
Correct. No, he's innocent until proven guilty.
That's the loyalty Boosie means. Even if your homie messed up, you stand by them publicly, check them privately. Boosie basically saying the industry's fake woke, loyal till it's inconvenient. Real talk, Boosie's video might have been a warning. If you don't back your moguls, don't be shocked when they come for you next, because if the feds can build a trafficking case on Diddy with old tapes and NDAs, they can do it to any rapper who ever threw a wild party. Now, yeah, Diddy got cleared on the worst charge, but he was still found guilty of transporting people for prostitution. So when Boosie says he ain't on Diddy's side, he means it. He's just glad the biggest charges didn't stick for the kids' sake. This verdict and Boosie's reaction show one thing. The line between cancel culture and loyalty is blurrier than ever. So was Boosie right to speak out, or did he just make himself look guilty by association? And what about the rappers that stayed quiet? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Jim Jones has been running his mouth all year, but Pusha T just reminded him that not everyone's here for it. It started when Jim went viral for calling Nas irrelevant, saying his own son couldn't name a single Nas track. Then he tried to downplay Illmatic, Ether, and Stillmatic, the same albums that built the foundation of East Coast rap. He even told Shannon Sharp that Nas lost him after Belly, like 2 decades of cultural dominance meant nothing.
I know I made a little boo-boo when we talk about the sales and all this type of shit. I don't feel like getting into that rhetoric about where I started and where he started.
Well, you said that
but
bullshit.
listen,
The backlash was swift. So many people called him out on his BS, including Joe Budden, who took to his podcast and said, "There's no universe where Jim believes he's a better rapper than Nas. Not lyrically, not culturally, and definitely not statistically." Jadakiss jumped in and reminded him of the unspoken rules of New York rap. We don't go by Billboard hits, we go by bars. Even Fat Joe chimed in to tell Jim that disrespecting legends might get him clicks, but it won't get him a legacy.
But in New York City, with rappers, we don't necessarily go by that. We going by the that we know get busy.
And so, you'd think Jim would chill after all that. But nope, he doubled down. This time, he took shots at Pusha T's latest track, Ace Trumpets, during an appearance on the Rap Caviar podcast. When asked if he liked it, Jim didn't hesitate. He flat out said no. And when the host tried to change his mind, saying it was nostalgic and one of Pusha's best in years, Jim deadass said he doesn't believe that because he doesn't listen to his music and never has.
You don't think Ace Trumpets is hard?
I don't believe them. But that's a whole nother story. I don't want to downplay nobody's craft or their music. I want to uplift everybody and things like that. But I don't listen to their music. I never have. I can't recall too many records that.
This time it wasn't even shade. This was literally a deliberate dismissal. We all know Pusha T isn't just a rapper, but a technician. Cause every line has layers and every beat is intentional. So, when someone like Jim tries to brush off his work like it's background noise, T doesn't even need a long rant. Jones doesn't deserve his attention. Many can't help but point out the fact that Jim Jones is washed up, and the only way he can ever stay relevant is talking about rappers who actually built a AME and a legacy, something he can't relate to. And to prove this, when the backlash was hot on his heels after the careless comments about Nas, he tried to twist the narrative claiming he was just bending the algorithm, as if it was all part of a plan to get people talking. Let's just say, he was almost immediately reminded that bending the algorithm isn't the same as bending the culture. And that's the core of this. Jim isn't just throwing shade. He's trying to position himself as a disruptor, someone who wins by starting fires, but forgetting that fires burn out. And when your whole brand becomes the guy who disses legends, what happens when no one cares anymore? To be fair, Jim isn't completely irrelevant. He's Dipset, and he made his mark. But that doesn't give him a pass to throw dirt on names that paved the way, especially when he knows deep down that Nas and Pusha T play in a different league. And if Jim keeps playing the villain, he better hope there's still a crowd left when the curtain falls. Because when the act is over and the mics are off, who's really clapping for him?